Trade the chart. Trade the chart, not the news. A lot of people ask me, do I look at the news when I'm trading? Sometimes a little bit, but I'm always looking at the chart. I'm going to talk to you guys about why it's important to trade the chart. So first off, can you do me one favor? And that's go ahead and like this video, subscribe to the channel, help me help you. I make these videos for free, so help me with a little bit of, love. Give me a little bit of love. First thing I want to talk about, people always ask me, is like they ask me about the news. How do I find out about news? Or do I trade stocks with news? Or how does it work? Well, the idea, obviously, stocks get news, they run up big, they crash down, different things happen. We get bad news, stuff happens. But the big thing to think about here is how I'm going to trade that action. And I'm not going to ever trade the news, if it makes sense. So I'm not going to mentally think about the news. So here is a great example, FCEL. The news on FCEL, they had a big contract, it came out, it got halted, it squeezed up there from $1.46 up here to $1.80. So the idea is, somebody saw this, they saw the news, and like, wow, this company's getting big news. They got a big deal. I'm gonna go long here, and this thing's gonna go to $2. And people are emotionally connecting to the news. So instead of just trading the chart, instead of trading the price action, they're getting in here, at $1.60 or something, it runs up to $1.80. They're thinking, yeah, that's great, but it's gonna go to $2 because it's got great news. Well, all of a sudden, it goes from $1.80, drops down here to $1.50. And that same person is also thinking, well, it's dropping, but it's got good news. So I'm gonna hold it here. I'm gonna give it some time. Maybe I'm gonna average down because, hey, they got really good news. So why not average down at the same time? So now they're averaging down. It's pulling down. It pulls down here to $1.47. So after they average down, again, it drops again. And at the same time, the person is thinking, well, it's got great news, so maybe I'll average down one more time here. Why not? I'm going to, it's got news. It's got good news. Well, that's the thing, though, guys. You got to think about is the market is smarter than you, if that makes sense. So the market is going to interpret the news faster than you do. The market is going to execute the trade faster than you can on the news. So if the news is really, 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 really good, it's going to go up. It's going to go flying up. It's going to go and flying higher and higher. But if the news is just kind of good, you'll get a spike. You'll get a drop. Something's going to happen like that. Don't ever think that you have some kind of mental ability to read the news better than all the other people on the market and all the other firms and big money in the market that sees the same news that you do. Don't think that you can read that news and be like, well, they decided $1 million deal. So this is great news. The company is nothing. They made $1 million. So yeah, this stock's going to $5. And I see people talk about this all the time. They read the news, they get attached to the stock, they see the news and they think about it like, this is amazing news. But at the same time, if the news is that amazing, the stock's going to show it, the chart's going to show it, the price action is going to happen. When it comes down to it, the big thing you want to look for is the chart. I'm trading momentum. I'm not trading the news. I'm not just, oh, this company's got an amazing deal going on here. They're going to have a $10 million deal here. If the stock's really that hot, if the stock's really that good, if the news is that good, it's going to show it on the chart. So don't think that you can interpret the news faster than the rest of the market. Don't think that you are going to be able to, buy it here at $1.70 and think that the news is good enough that push it to $2. Because a lot of times what happens is you get stuck and it just crashes down. You get a lot of people buying into the news there, but at the same time, everyone's selling into the news as well, and boom, crash down. So the big thing to think about here is do not get emotionally attached to news. If you get into a stock and it starts to crash, if it starts to go down and you're like, well, it's got good news, I'm going to hold it for a couple days, who knows, maybe it'll go back up, I'm going to just give it a chance here because it's got really good news. But that's the big flaw there. Do not get emotionally attached to the news. Don't think that you can, like I said, interpret the news better than the rest of the market, because if the news is that good, it's going to go up. Never marry a trade, never marry a stock. Even if the news is so good, it's like this stock is getting $1 billion deal. If it's not that good of news, it'll happen. If the news is that good, you'll see it happen on the chart. It really comes down to it. Really, the chart will show the true story of the news, how valuable that news is. And if it's not that good news, you'll get something like this on FCL happen. So, like I said, do not marry your trades. Do not marry the news. Focus on trading the chart. Focus on trading the price action, and look to see what the buyers are doing, where the sellers are, and you'll figure it out a lot faster than actually reading the press releases. Because remember, those are press releases. The companies put these releases out, they pump them up a little bit, they want to get some action, they want to get some buying, they want to pump their stock up, so they put the press release out. But at the end of the day, if the news is really that good, it'll show here on the chart. So don't marry your trades, don't get emotional about news, focus on the chart.